Hello. A lot of exciting things going on as usual. My life is always exciting. Some of you guys might have also a lot of excitement going on, or maybe you're looking for more excitement. Well, let me tell you a little bit about what's been going on in the last few days. I just came back from this awesome 4-day event in Orlando where there were a bunch of amazing people, over 3,000 entrepreneurs that are looking to take advantage of all the incredible opportunities that we have today. And trust me, when I say all the incredible, I mean all the incredible, because things are just basically starting. They are in this big evolution that is taking off. Feels like it's been around forever. Feels like it's old, and it feels like it's too crowded. But the fact that the internet has been around for about 22 years, 25 years or so, makes it something so new that we're still going through this phenomena of land grabbing of the digital world that we have today in front of us. There's not enough people doing it, and today's podcast I wanted to make it about that because even though the world is making it seem like it's too late for one to accomplish their goals and their dreams, the reality is that I think we have evolved about 2% of the true potential of the internet world, and it's going to keep on evolving and getting better as we go along, and it's going to be a while until it gets too late and too crowded. One of the things that I found interesting the other day, that I was doing some research. I'm very into numbers, data science and analytics and things like that, because it's just something that, it's not about my opinion. The numbers just validate my theory that this is just beginning. Let me give you an example. Do you know that the biggest media corporation today is actually Facebook? I'm sure you already know that. There's countries like United States that are averaging 80% of the adult population using it. No television station ever dreamed about having 80% of the population using it. They knew that was impossible. There's other countries more, let's say, a little bit less evolved than the USA. Like, for example, Colombia, to give you one particular Latin American example, that has about 70% of the active adult population using the social media monster that we call Facebook. And that's not the only thing. Like, platforms that are just taking off, like Instagram, that has gone from 300 million users to close to a billion users in a matter of a couple of years, are things that are indications, symbols, signals that this whole thing is just in its early stages. Also, the fact that less than half of the entire population of the planet has access to the online world. To be exact, about 3 billion people out of 7.7 can access the online world. Just tells you again what's going on right now in the world and how it's just basically beginning. Because if you ask somebody like Zuckerberg, who is actually currently under attack for data breaches and other things that are going on, which are unavoidable, and they're going to keep on happening throughout ages and ages. If you ask Zuckerberg, he will tell you that his plan for the next 10 years is to, this is something that came out on the World Summit Facebook does every single year. He drew out a big map and on a big screen, and he talked about the plans that Facebook has for the next 10 years. And their plan is to put satellites all over the planet so they can provide the internet to the entire human population. This opens up the door for now cell phone providers to come into those countries and provide services, and things are going to just keep on growing like crazy throughout ages and ages. So we still have a big curve that it's going to keep on expanding. It's comparable to back in the ages of Christopher Columbus going into the Americas and other places to conquer. Same thing's going on right now. The internet is just basically evolving, and they're discovering new ways to provide internet to the world, just like they were discovering ways to actually get into certain areas of land that were not accessible before. The same thing is going on right now. And in case you guys ever wondered where all these rich families, where this old money came from that we have today in those incredibly rich and powerful families. Well, a lot of those families came from the world of land grabbing that we had through ages and ages that has been going on. A lot of families have had generations of money because they took advantage of that land grabbing phenomena throughout time, even from early days of Christopher Columbus to the more recent days of the Wild Wild West and a bunch of other things. So this thing, this phenomena, this internet thing that's going on right now is the same thing, the exact same thing that we went through on those ages. And if you think about it, the only difference here is that one of them is actual land and the other one is digital land. So it's just basically beginning. And let me give you another example just for purposes of more demonstration about this. I was doing some research and I discovered the other day that there are actually in existence about 300 million registered companies in the planet. So that puts it at about maybe 10 registered, one registered company for every 10 human beings. And it just tells you, okay, well, there's not that many, right? Well, do you know that out of those 300 million corporations, 5% of them have tested Facebook ads? Imagine that. The biggest actual in existence, the biggest media corporation in the entire planet, the most powerful advertising product ever existed, the only platform that has had targeting capabilities like the ones that we have on Facebook, the only platform that has so much information about each individual user that whenever you invest your dollars, if you know what you're doing, you don't spend a single penny on somebody that is not a potential customer. The only platform that has all this data that is being used actively, not only when somebody watches television, whenever they have their cell phones on themselves, which is pretty much at all times, because people even sleep with their cell phones right next to them within arm's reach at all times. The only platform has been used by 5% of those 300 million companies. Isn't that incredible? Now, let me give you an additional piece of information that I find very interesting. The reality of Facebook advertising by those 5% of the corporations, which is very minor, they have actually, through surveys, it has been found that 93% of that 5%, 93% claims that Facebook ads didn't work for them. Are you kidding me? So are you telling me that only 7% of those 300 million companies, only 7% of those corporations actually achieved results on Facebook? Simply incredible. So if you thought for a second that you were late on the game, I want you to think again about that, because the reality is not that Facebook didn't work for them. The reality is very clear. They didn't work. They didn't figure out. That 93% did not do the actions necessary in order to create the effects that they could have created on the Facebook advertising platform. Because Facebook is not only Facebook, that's the name of the corporation, but Facebook has Messenger, has Instagram, has WhatsApp, has all kinds of communication channels available, even something now that they're calling connected TV ads, in which on the television software platforms like Roku, the Chrome device, the Apple TV, and all those devices, when somebody is watching a television on, let's say, for example, the A&E application, now Facebook, with Facebook's targeting potential, because they have the user data, because people are signed in on their computers, on their televisions, on their devices, everywhere, they have the data, they can put ads on the television between their shows. This is something that is still in development and only getting better with time. 2 years ago, I was told by one of my big mentors that he said to me, look, you got 2 years before Facebook gets more expensive. Well, today, 2 years later, I can tell you that that's still a long way from actually happening. I have been able to grow companies from scratch like crazy for the last several years. I have been able to take companies to the next level, so much so that in 2017, having all my eggs in the Facebook basket when it comes to advertising, I produced close to $80 million in revenue between all companies combined. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money that I wouldn't have ever dreamed about being able to be responsible for. So, does it work? You can sure bet it does. But do you know how to use it? That is the question. The reality is that the two determining factors when it comes to being successful in anything that you do in life, there's only two of them. Is number one, having the right knowledge. Now, pay attention to the fact that I say the right knowledge, because there's so much knowledge out there. There's all kinds of people selling you training, giving you tools, providing you education, all those so-called gurus that know what they're talking about and that are selling you the dream. So whatever it is, courses that you're buying, they're not all the right ones. You got to have the right knowledge, number one. And number two, you got to put in the work. Because if you fail at something, and if you run a campaign for about 2 or 3 months and you lost your all your money and you didn't achieve results, well, you got to understand that it's not that the platform didn't work, it's that you didn't make it work. And you have to adjust it and correct it and go back to the drawing board, in many cases, many times, until you hit the jackpot on what you're trying to accomplish, until you hit the jackpot on the effect that you're trying to create. Sometimes even myself, that I am a recognized guru on this area, doing seminars all over the world and having people paying attention to me and accomplishing results, because I'm actually a doer. I'm not just somebody that's talking about something and then not doing anything about it myself. I'm actually running ads every single day. I'm spending currently about $500,000 in ads every single month. I'm spending close to $500,000 in ads. So I'm a doer. I know exactly what's going on. I know exactly what the activities entail when it comes to Facebook ads and taking advantage of the platform. I could tell you that the reality is that if you were not successful, was because you were doing it the wrong way. It's as simple as that. And the opportunity is quite massive. Why? Because, again, 5% of businesses in the world, only 5%, have actually realized that the platform is powerful and have jumped into it. But out of that 5%, 93% of them claim that their Facebook ads did not work and that the platform did not work for them, even though it has more attention than anybody ever even approached controlling, which is the number one asset. The biggest commodity in this planet is not the dollars, is not the gold, is not the diamonds. The most important, most valuable commodity is attention. When you have attention, you succeed. When you don't have attention, you fail. It's as simple as that. There is, to give you a particular example about a country, 230 million active users of Facebook in the United States. Active every single month, many of them every single day using the platform. Not all of them are your clients. You need to be able to communicate to the correct clients, the ones that will get a problem solved that you are offering to solve, the ones that are interested in solving that particular problem. If you do not present the solution to the right person, then you will not succeed. So whatever it is that you're doing, you got to know that when you're running Facebook ads the correct way, which I hope that you're all doing, and if you're not doing it, well, you got to start doing it already, because there's information, there's knowledge, there's like a lot of education on the area, is that you have to understand that there's two factors that are going to determine, above all, whether you are going to succeed or not. Number one, and the most important, and the senior to everything else, is your actual audience that you are selecting. And Facebook gives you the data to keep on testing audiences, people, human beings that are going to be interested in your product, number one. And number two, the other factor is your content, your message, the information that you are using out there. Now, this is the reality. The worst content in the world can produce results in front of the right audience. Now, in the other side, the worst audience in the world, doesn't matter how good your content is, will not produce a result. So finding your audience is going to be your first and foremost priority when it comes to Facebook ads. And you can start doing that by going to business.facebook.com, setting up your account if you don't have it, and start playing around with this little tool inside the Business Manager that Facebook calls Audience Insight. Audience Insight is a tool that lets you understand who your fans are. What is your potential audience? What is the audience your competitors have? Find people that you can actually run your message to and see their response. Test it out 6, 7, 10, 20 audiences until you find one that responds good to your content. And don't have an analysis paralysis when it comes to what content you're going to create. Use your devices. Use your iPhones, your Android devices. Use simple cameras. Don't overcomplicate it. In my opinion, if you do a high quantity of content, that's going to beat out at any time the quality of your content. So go in that direction. What is my message for you today in this era of opportunity that we're living on right now is that you need to jump all over it. And number one, make yourself a professional. You know, this is a reality. People that started on something, they were beginners. The professionals that we have today on any areas, for example, myself, I'm a professional on marketing. I'm a Facebook ads expert. I'm a certified professional by Facebook. And I can guarantee you something. 4 years ago, I was not one. How did I become one? How did I become one? Well, I studied nonstop. I learned. I tested things out. I learned from my mistakes. I invested money. I put energy behind it. I spent countless hours learning the subject. I dedicated my life for the last 4 or 5 years to every single day learning something new. Doesn't matter what it was. If at the end of the day, I didn't learn something new about the Facebook platform, I did not go to sleep. There's so much information on it. The other day I had somebody ask me on a seminar, well, can you just summarize in half an hour how to run Facebook marketing? And I told them, you're a doctor. That person was a doctor. He was actually a surgeon. I said, okay, got it. I understand your question. Can you summarize yourself how to do a heart surgery in the next 30 minutes, step by step, and just tell me all the details about it? The question has a very simple answer. Absolutely not. It is a science that you need to learn. That's why on my seminars, my number one job, and on this podcast too, is to wake people up. Because for me, it's going to be very complicated and difficult to give you the steps, even through audio or even through videos, just for a couple of videos that you need to take in order to be successful. It's a process that doesn't end. It's a process that you got to keep on doing every single day. Every single day, I realize something. This is something that I did a video on the other day because I was doing the seminars in Orlando for this event called the Funnel Hacker Live, which is a very cool event with some awesome people. There were over 3,000 people in there learning how to, do better strategies and get more results and get more attention and accomplish bigger effects. Well, the reality is that I realized how little I know. So if you guys are listening to this, I'm assuming that you consider that I know more than you. Well, myself, my viewpoint is that I don't know anything yet. And along the way, as I'm teaching you guys and you're learning from me, you also need to be learning because this process of learning is a never-ending process. And the day that you decide that you know everything about it, that you already tried it out and it didn't work, and that it's something that it's not for you, and my clients are not there, and it's just not meant for me, and it's too high tech, that is the moment that you're actually going to start going downhill. If you apply yourself and learn something every day, your results will improve with time. Just like riding a bicycle, just like playing basketball, just like learning to handle a computer, your ability to create bigger effects and to create responses that eventually lead to getting more clients, growing your business, selling more products are developed along the way, non-stop. It's an ever-ending growth process. So guys, I'm going to ask you as a call to action to put some attention into learning every day more. Every single day, look for a new area of skill. Whatever confusions that you have, work on clearing them up. And every single day, try to implement something new. You learn something and you implement. You learn something and you implement. If you are not using the business manager, well, you got to start learning how to use it. I do have a free training coming up, which is going to be the 26th of April. I'm going to put a link down below on this podcast. If you want to start registering for that, it's going to be a free training in which I'm going to give people 4 Facebook ad strategies that they can apply right away to be successful. It's going to be a really cool seminar that I've been working on, and it's going to be on that day. Okay, it's going to be 6 p.m. Eastern time. So you can go ahead and register for this free training, and hopefully something that you guys can show up, because it's going to be a big training that I'm going to just give you some tools. That day, I am launching a full course that is going to take people step by step, and I'm going to be able to teach people the exact strategies that I've learned in order to grow my businesses from zero to many millions of dollars within a couple of years. These phenomena that are going on right now when it comes to building businesses is something that our ancestors never even imagined could happen. I sit down with entrepreneurs of old today, and I show them the numbers, and they cannot believe it. I know of genius and bright minds like my dad, that when I tell him that I was able to sell in my first 2 years over $6 million in sales on the second year, this is on an e-commerce product. He just could not believe it. He explained to me how it took him 25 years of hard work to create his first $1 million business. So technology has amplified everything. It has made it possible for us to build businesses in shorter amount of periods that were ever before possible. So if you are an 18-year-old, that's incredible and it's exciting. If you are 60 years old, realize that you can build a business that secures your retirement and gives you what you're looking for in a matter of a couple of years if you apply yourself to learning these incredible platforms that we have today that allow us to communicate with people 24/7, 365 days a year. People take this for granted. We used to depend on people sitting down on a TV in front of a lot of people and just putting our ad in front of them, and have to spend a lot of money on television ads and hopefully be at the right time at the right moment and put our message in front of them. Now we have the capability of putting our message in front of them at any time, because they have their cell phone devices, which is basically everything today. They have it on their pockets, in their arms, within arm's reach at all times, at any given moment during the day. Actually, if they don't have it with them, they feel incomplete. So now all you got to do is figure out, number one, what content, how are you going to help people, how are you going to provide some value, and number two, how are you going to distribute. And this is something that happens very often. People tell me, I've been posting stuff for years and nothing happens. Of course nothing has happened. You have not figured out distribution. The biggest artists in the world, the biggest painters, designers, actors of the world have not been discovered. Do you ever think about that? We discovered Da Vinci, and we discovered Brad Pitt, and all these incredible human beings along the way, because they figured out distribution. They found how to get recognized. They found out how to be seen by people in whatever era they're from. They discovered that. The same thing that you have to do. You have to be discovered. And now you have at your avail something that none of them had before, which is the communication platforms of this internet world that reach across borders, reach across countries, throughout entire planets, and all over different areas of this entire incredible planet. So guys, please keep that in mind. It's just beginning. I keep on insisting that you can put yourself in there, and then hopefully 20 years from now, you can remember when you were listening to this podcast that I'm recording here on this awesome device, which is something that has made it possible for me because of technology, that I don't have to have big equipment to talk to you guys and have you listen to me wherever you may be, on the car, on the shower, on your house, on the treadmill, wherever you are. So it's really awesome stuff, and it's really, really exciting. And I can't, some people tell me like, wow, man, you're excited. You're excited. This weekend I had the pleasure of meeting a bunch of awesome people. And one of them was this great lady that has a lot of potential. She creates a lot of content for people and helps people with their ability to go into the retail world. And she kept saying to me like, wow, you're really excited about this. And I'm like, no, this is a chronic state for me. I'm always like this. I'm always excited. I'm always like, there's no up and down. I wake up excited. I go to sleep excited. Right now, I'm recording this. It's past 11 o'clock at night here. And I'm just full of energy and full of excitement because I believe that I want you guys to wake up. And I believe that a lot of you guys can wake up and can jump in and take advantage and ride the wave with me. And maybe one day run across me and give me a hug and thank me because I was able to create an influence on you. For me, that's more important. I want to be able to help people become successful and ride this incredible wave of this internet world that is just beginning. Okay, guys, so that's going to be all for this podcast. I have an incredible list of subjects to share with you, and it's going to keep on coming. If you want to originate different subjects that you want me to cover, you can go ahead and do that too. If you want to send me a message, you can go to my messenger, which is going to be m.me/the Ninja Marketer. And if you go there, m.me/the Ninja Marketer, then you will be able to send me a direct message and ask me any questions, and I can use that for future podcasts. And I'm answering most of those communications myself right now and trying to check them every single day and providing as much value as possible to you guys. Okay, so that's it for this podcast, and I will see you on the next podcast of the Facebook Marketing Ninja. I really, really appreciate you taking some part of your day to listen to me and to be here with me. Okay, see you soon.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the Facebook Ninja Podcast. If you want to learn more advanced ninja tactics to grow your business and master social media marketing, then sign up for the Manuel Suarez Coaching Program by heading over to our website, manuelsuarez.com/coaching.